Ladies and gentlemen, a pleasant good late afternoon to everybody. It is your boy Lewis coming back at you on the Lewis Sports Network, back with another heavy hitter banger with yet another video. Before we get started, make sure you smash that like button, hit the subscribe button, make sure your notifications are turned on. And also, ladies and gentlemen, make sure that you guys again share this on your social media outlets, like the video, subscribe to the channel. Shout out to everybody. Shout out to the LSM Mod Squad, new subscribers and people in the chat. Truly appreciate that. Let me know how everybody is doing. And definitely, we're going to get started on this. We're talking about something that I'm very proud of Maya Moore and what she was able to do, um, with the news from what I heard from this great WNBA star. But, she just showed me that she was even more than a star. Salute to everybody that is in the chat. Shout out to Gerald Cardinal. Appreciate you coming through. Shout out to Jared. Shout out to Caden. Appreciate you guys being the first ones in here. Again, like the video. I'm coming with a back-to-back, ladies and gentlemen. Kobe Bryant, doing a dedication video on him after Clutch Points decided to only do 10 minutes and 55 seconds of him. So make sure to pull up for that at 8:30. So make sure you guys are there. Just give me 1 second while I still salute people in the chat. Shout out to Ron. Appreciate you coming through. Appreciate that. I have to give this lady, this woman right here, her props for the accomplishment that she did to Jonathan Irons. For those who don't know, and again, salute to everybody in the chat. So here's what she did. I apologize. I just ended up. Wait, hidden? I didn't mean to hide that. What? No. Whatchamacallit? All right, so let me just check. Let me just check real quick. Again, salute to everybody. Okay, so what Maya Moore did, and again, shout out to everybody. So for those who don't know, it says how WNBA star Maya Moore, she refused to play until a man was free from prison should inspire all. Maya Moore has not played organized basketball in the WNBA since 2017. So she had been out of the game for 2 years. She decided to focus on criminal justice. And she had heard about a case about a man who was wrongly convicted of a crime that he did not commit. And he spent 22 years of his life in jail. So it says in the prime of her career, when she was in her prime, and I'm going to actually look through the accomplishments of Maya Moore to let you know what she has accomplished in her WNBA career. And she's still young, ladies and gentlemen. She is only, I believe, 30 years old. If not 30, she should be 30. Oh, no, she's 31. She's from Jefferson City, Missouri. Let me just put Maya Moore. Let me see if it comes out on Basketball Reference. There we go. I just want to put that up just to show what Maya Moore, what she's done in her career. I mean, she's done so much. If you look at her accomplishments, actually, I could probably find it better even on. Let me just go back real quick. Hold on a second, guys. There we go. I know Wikipedia isn't always the most accurate when it comes to information, but I will say that, when we look at her career, she's been able to do a lot. So let's just look at her career and highlights and stuff before we get into. Shout out to Caden. He says that my stream did well last night. I appreciate that, and I got another stream coming up. So again, shout out to everybody that's been able to come here so far. Appreciate you guys. All right, so going back to her accomplishments, she's a 4-time WNBA champion. She has played her entire career with the Minnesota Lynx. She was drafted in the 2011 NBA draft, in the WNBA draft. Excuse me. What was her pick number? Trying to see what she was in terms of. Oh, she was the first overall pick. Okay, there we go. Okay, so she did that, and she's a 4-time WNBA champion. She's won a Finals MVP in 2013. She is a WNBA regular season MVP in 2014. She's made 6 All-Star teams. She's a 3-time WNBA All-Star Game MVP. She's made 5 WNBA first team, 2 WNBA second team. She's a 2-time WNBA All-Defensive second team. So she plays defense. She does it at both ends of the floor. She led the league in steals in 2018. She led the league in scoring in 2014. She made the All-Rookie team in 2011. She's the Rookie of the Year in 2011. She won a FIBA World title in 2014. She's in the WNBA top 20 at 20 and 2016. She's a two-time EuroLeague Women's Champion 2012 and 2018. She's the Liga Femenina Champion in 2012. She's a three-time WCBA champion from 2013 to 2015, so that's 3 years in a row. Two-time NCAA champion. She won back-to-back national titles with the Connecticut Huskies. She went to UConn for the great Gino Auriemma, Hall of Famer Gino Auriemma. She's a four-time AP All-America First Team. She's a three-time COSIDA Academic All-America First Team. She's a four-time WBCA Coaches All-America Team, four-time USBWA All-America Team, three-time Wade Trophy winner, two-time Naismith College Player of the Year. And again, salute to everybody in the chat. I'll go back to the chat in a second. Two-time John R. Wooden Award, 2009, 2011. Two-time AP College Player of the Year in 2009 and 2011. Two-time U.S. Basketball Women's Association Women's National Player of the Year, 2009 and 2011. Two-time Honda Sports Award for basketball, three-time Big East Player of the Year, 2008, 2009, and 2011. Two-time Academic All-America of the Year, back-to-back seasons. All Sports Academic All-America of the Year in 2011. And she won the NCAA Tournament Most Outstanding Player in 2010. And she was a USBWA National Freshman of the Year in 2008. Look at all those damn accomplishments, man. All right, so getting back on it, shout out to, again, this is Maya Moore, the women's basketball player. The woman that you guys see right here on the screen, next to that young man right there, that's her. That's what I'm talking about. All those accomplishments I'm talking about is that lady right there. Yeah, Maya Moore has been with the Lynx. Shout out to Karam in the building. Shout out to Daniel Berry. He is the boat. I mean, he's the GOAT. Sorry. Excuse me. Sorry about that, Daniel. Meant to say the GOAT. So, Daniel, the GOAT, appreciate you coming through. And shout out to Johnson Daily Sports, and go subscribe to his channel as well. Yeah, Maya Moore can definitely hoop. So yeah, this is what she was. This is something that she did that doesn't get talked about enough, and I wanted to do a live stream on her. It's not gonna be long, but I think that it's definitely something that she definitely deserves credit for. It's upsetting that she does not get enough recognition for what she did. For her to be not just a player, but to be an activist. People are saying that why did she end up leaving in the prime of her career when she obviously could still be playing? And why did she leave? Because the WNBA is really not making a lot of money, so she really didn't leave anything. And I'm still giving her credit because for her to choose try to sacrifice her career, because she could have just been a basketball player and she could have just focused on her basketball. But she said that she looked into this case of what happened to this man, Jonathan Irons, back in 2007 when she visited him in jail. And she decided that she wanted to fight for something right. I mean, a lot of the women in the WNBA have decided to sit out, and some of them have decided to do it to focus on social justice. And hopefully they can be able to succeed in whatever it is that they decided to do. And Maya Moore studied criminal justice while she was in school. So, going into this story, which I thought was very fascinating, and it's a shame. It's a shame that she doesn't get enough. She doesn't get enough credit because she deserves the credit. So in the prime of her career, she put everything on hold. I remember Robin Roberts spoke to her and Jonathan. They have fought so hard, for him to get released when he was properly. And hold on a second. Yeah. So once again, guys, it's crazy, that she was able to do all this and have a high influence on this young man, for him to be able to be free after 22 years. And the thing is, she put everything on hold to campaign against the incarceration of Jonathan Irons. He was convicted for 50 years in prison. For the avoidance of doubt about how high-flying Maya Moore was prior to 2019, it is important to refer to the tail of her tape. So I went already through all the accomplishments. She was the #1 pick, Rookie of the Year, all this kind of stuff. So she did all that. the USA teams that won Olympic gold in 2012 and 2016. She won FIBA with the World Championship, so she is also a two-time Olympian. Her birthday is in June, so she just turned 31 last month. So she shows that she really cared. She said that she met him at a Prime Ministry back in 1998. She was only 9 years old at the time. She was only 9, and he was a teenager. Jonathan Irons was. He had been convicted of charges. For those who don't know what he was convicted of, he was convicted of burglary and assault. He was convicted of burglary and assault during that time. He was convicted of 50 years. So that means that if he was still in prison right now, this would be 22 years. That means that he would have not been released until 2048. Think about that, ladies and gentlemen. This is a black man, got convicted of burglary and assault. He was wrongfully accused, and he was in prison for 50 years. That means that he would have still had 28 more years to serve until he could be released in the year 2048. I mean, it's a heck of a story. It doesn't get enough credit. It's a shame that this is not on the news enough. I just don't understand it. So it says, even when opportunities came her way, she rose to become one of the best players of all time. Moore believes she owed it to herself to impact the life of Irons. So she decided to look into this case, I believe, when she went to go visit him back in 2007. And I think at this point, Maya Moore was around 18 years old now. So it says that Irons' punishment was overturned. That was the result in March at the beginning of this year. Moore announced that she was ready to sit out another season in pursuance of Irons' release. So Maya is just taking the time to just relax because the fight for this took a very long time. It took a lot of work, and I'm just very proud of her. In January, she said, "When we take time to stand up for people and to shine a light in a dark place, not everybody's gonna like it. When it costs your comfort or maybe something that you just want to kind of check out and enjoy, you understand that." So it says that she was mindful of her platform. Listen to this, saying, "Entertainment is a place where you want to relax and not have to think about the cares of the world. But we are in a world and the world is broken." That's a big time quote by Maya Moore. Ron says that she was one of two of the or three best players in the league, and she dropped everything in her prime to help his brother. Nobody does that. Like, people really need to think, like, who really does that? Even if she's not making as much money as some of the other sports athletes in other sports, this is very noble of her. It shows the humility that she has. She's thinking about another human being, a fellow black brother who was wrongfully accused. And we always talk about the people who are constantly being wrongfully accused. We have innocent people who die, innocent people who get wrongfully accused. They serve a long time in jail for no reason. And then it takes them a long time for people to realize that it was a mistake, especially if the case is never really investigated. See, that's the thing, that when the case is not really investigated or people really don't pay attention to it, this is a athlete who just told you that entertainment is usually something that we take a break from to kind of leave us as a distraction to everything else that's going on in society because you're just focused on playing. But we live in a broken world, and I absolutely agree with her. Shout out to Sean. Maya did more in real situations. Salute. The WNBA should be more respected. Absolutely. And again, shout out to Maya Moore for this. And so going back, she says right now, when Irons' conviction was overturned in March, he said about her, "She saved my life." That's powerful, ladies and gentlemen. He said she saved her life. He said that she saved his life. And I couldn't agree more because he would have been serving 28 more years in prison for something that he didn't do. I mean, just imagine being in Mr. Irons' shoes. So think about it. He's known Maya Moore since 1998. So that's 22 years. They met in a prime minister church back in 98 when she was only 9. She's 31 years old now. And she sacrificed her playing career, used her platform, and was able to help somebody save their life. She took affirmative action, ladies and gentlemen. That should be commended, and it's a shame that it's not being talked about. You know, with all the social justice issues going on, you know, all around, she used her platform for the greater good, and she gets my ultimate respect for that. You know, so I definitely appreciate Maya for that. And it's a shame that we're distracting ourselves from other things, man. When it's like we just saw somebody, you know, fight to get a human being out of jail for something that he didn't do, for something that he didn't commit. You know, and it says also, I would not have this chance if it wasn't for her and her wonderful family, and she saved my life, and I can't say it any better than that. And I know that it was a very long process because you could even see when they were doing the interview, both Irons and Maya Moore with Robin Roberts, they just sounded really exhausted, but sounded relieved too. Uh, so now, you know, usually when you're in jail for that long, there's a lot of things that you have to get now readjusted to. A lot of things that you have to learn now in society, kind of things that you have to relearn, and then new things that you have to learn because there's new things that you learn every day. But now he said that now that he's out, he's now 40. He believes that he can live life. He remains grateful to Moore for never giving up on him, and that's the thing. She didn't quit, you know, because sometimes in these kind of cases, there's moments in cases where people could quit when they feel like they don't got you know, a concrete set of information, or if they feel like there's no really a believable way to be able to you know, try to be able to help somebody that's been wrongfully accused of something to be able to try to see if they can you know, relieve them of their the sentence that they're serving. And through the grace of God, through the work that they put in and the fight that she continued to do, she was able to get him out. And I don't know why more people are seeing this, because this is the kind of action that we're talking about, especially with how incarcerations have a high number of, you know what. Now he says that he believes that he can live life now. Salute to everybody in the chat. He remains grateful to Moore for never giving up on her. Moore herself, thank God it's over, in an Instagram video. But the cool thing is that she said she was still going to fight for him, you know, if it entailed to, you know, continue this, you know, due process. On Wednesday, her humanitarian commitment has been successful, and she was ready to move on. And it's true, ladies and gentlemen, because when you go through a fight like this, I think the biggest thing that you always look for is relief, especially when you're able to accomplish, you know, what your goal was set out to do from the beginning, which you were when you decided to fight something like this. You fought for somebody's life. I mean, he almost served half of his life in a prison cell, half of the time at the least, because he was 3 more years away from serving 25. But it's true, you're usually drained from things like this, especially when you have to, you know, go on a court cases and, you know, hear these kind of things. But the story marries two dimensions of human society. One involves an individual's commitment for a belief, which was Maya Moore, and the other is a justice system that does not offer a chance of redemption for some people, which is absolutely true. And I think in Jonathan Zion's case, he was able to get a chance of redemption. I don't really call it redemption. I just feel like I feel like it's a second chance of life, and it's really more so kind of a first chance in a sense, because now it's you're kind of reborn again. It's like, because you know, sometimes when you're usually in, you know, you're in a prison complex, I mean, it could do one or two things to you. It can either turn you crazy, because you're not seeing what society looks like in the outside world, and your society is is prison. You know, you're in an inside prison society, so you could easily become a prisoner of your own mind, or it's like you find ways to try to keep strong. You try to keep the faith alive, you know, and hopefully somehow you are able to, you know, God has a way to work miracles, and it also it's a combination of miracles. You're gonna have to have a little bit of luck, and then also hard work. I feel like a combination of those three things, I believe, can lead to something successful. I think sometimes people try to differentiate one thing over the other, But I always think that it's a culmination of all those things. Um, most people, most people we call activists talk a lot, but with no end game. Well, my idea is true activism. Yeah, and you should be a top 15 all-time WNBA ranking. 6 foot. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Like, what do you mean by that? What do you mean by with that statement, though? Like, I'm not even understanding what you're saying by that. Could you further explain that? When Moore's perseverance can inspire many, and that's what I think it is. I mean, I feel like people really need to take this as an inspiration, and it's true because she could have easily quit. She could have easily focused on herself. She could have easily did other things that had nothing to entail with her. That only entails her or other things that she's focused on. But somebody who she met in a prime minister church 22 years ago, she decided to stop playing to be a humanitarian. She sacrificed the sport for human rights. And when I look at the word activist next to Maya Moore, she not only is a sports superstar in the WNBA, but she definitely proved her name with the title activist. Because she was what? She was active. She was active. And her active duty to help somebody who she's known for over 20 years paid off. And when we hear the cliche that hard work pays off, that's what happened. Hard work pays off. They looked into the case, and Jonathan Irons, I'm very happy for the brother that he was able to be free, can call himself a free man, because you could feel like a slave in prison. But I'm happy for him that he was able to call himself a free man. And much respect to Jonathan Irons and to Maya Moore. But daring to any of these requires an understanding of the magnitude of sacrifice. And what she did was she sacrificed. Believe it or not. Believe it or not, she sacrificed. Oh, you mean for people who you've seen play? Shout out to Poseidon Swag. He says since the NBA is so small, WNBA is so small, no one has really heard about this story yet. I mean, to be honest with you though, it's already all over the internet. So I don't. I feel like they won't mention it until later on, because the thing is, Maya Moore, this has already happened. He was already free in March. It doesn't really, and it wasn't really talked about. And the thing is, the network, the four-letter word, they decided to put this up much later. They decided to put it up much later. So to be honest, this is something that should have been talked about for a while. Oh, I see. 6 foot says that you should do a WNBA ranking list for a video. I mean, I could do that. I mean, there's a lot of candidates who are capable of saying that they're the greatest WNBA player of all time. I really wonder who would actually pay attention to that. Again, ladies and gentlemen, this live stream isn't going to be as long, but I still have to give at least a little bit of the segment to Maya Moore, to give her all credit. Let me just see. As we continue, as Moore said herself in January, hats off to the people that sacrifice, that pay a cost of a platform, of a job, of money to stand up for something greater than yourself. And at the end of the day, if we remember we're human beings first, I think it'll make it a little less controversial. That's key. That's wow. And Jonathan Irons was able to say the word freedom. Look at that. CNN. They say when she was 16, but that's false because she was born in 1989. So she was 9 years old, not 16. So they got that wrong. So he was assaulting a homeowner with a gun for burglary and assault. That was the original conviction. And Jonathan says that he feels like he can live now. He says he's free. He says he's blessed. He wants to just live his white life. He's basically focused on having the right people around him. So he's going to listen. He says he's going to make sure he's going to study and really get to understand, what's going on in the world now, and pretty much build his life from there. The man is 40 years old, now. And he says that he thinks he wants to live his life worthy of God's help and influence. And he thanks everybody who supported him and Maya during that time. And he also wants to thank, her family for being able to help him. And Maya Moore says right here, she announced in January she would skip a second season to focus on criminal justice reform because Maya Moore studied criminal justice while she was in college. She says, when we take the time to stand up for people and to shine a light in a dark place, not everybody is going to like it, right? When it costs your comfort or maybe something that you just want to kind of check out and enjoy, I get that. So hats off to people that sacrifice, standing up something greater than yourselves. So yeah, she's considered one of the greatest WNBA players to ever play in the history of the game. I've already made that clear. Two-time Olympian. She's won national titles. Maya Moore's pretty much won at every level. It's almost as if to say, what hasn't Maya Moore done? Shout out to Joe in the building. Yep, the Kobe video is coming up next. That's right. Let me just check in the comments. Yeah. Top 15 list. Says the WNBA. Yep. Taurasi, Cooper, Swoops, and Lisa Leslie. I have to go with Cynthia Cooper. Kobe video is coming up next. Oh, yeah, it is. It's hard as hell to get a retrial for cases like this. Yeah, let alone get the case overturned. Yeah, it's very hard. Okay. And then he's just basically saying Cooper, Leslie, Swoops. Okay, I get all that. Yep. Again, guys, like the video, share on your social media. So yeah, this one I just wanted to make kind of like a really quick video. I just wanted to make a really quick video on Maya Moore, just kind of give her, shed some light and give her respect. Cynthia Cooper is one of the all-time greatest WNBA players. I'm gonna have to do a top 15 WNBA players list, and it's usually I don't really talk about women's basketball a lot, but I did watch it. There's quite a few women that I do know that played. I mean, I could tell you players like Margot Diedick, who was 7'2". I could tell you about Natalie Williams. I could tell you about obviously Cheryl Swoops. I could tell you about Jeanette Arcane. I could tell you about Debbie Black. I could tell you about Michelle Timms. I remember her. She's from Australia. Obviously Candace Parker. Delisha Milton. I know about Swing Cash, Lauren Jackson. Obviously Cappie Pondexter. Tari Phillips. I remember her from my Liberty. Becky Hammond. Vicki Johnson. I mean, the list goes on and on. I know about these. Tamika Dixon, Lisa Leslie. Oh, I'm telling you, y'all don't know, bro. I know some WNBA players. What? Nikki Teasley. Like, I know players, man. I definitely know some players, man. So if you want to let me know, I'm telling you right now. Deanna Nolan, that's right. Yeah, she was a female Allen Iverson. That's facts. Shamika Holtzclaw. That's right. What was her former teammate? I'm trying to remember her name. Her former teammate. Oh, Nikki DeCray. There you go. I was like, yo, I know her name, Nikki DeCray. Damn, how could I forget? I remember there was a nice little tandem. Surprised she didn't play as long as I thought she would, man. Um, That was a really nice tandem though. Yeah, I like Lauren Jackson. I know her and Lisa Leslie had beef during their playing career. I know Lisa Leslie had. It's funny, she was best friends with Tina Thompson, but even they had a little bit of beef. We had who else? Teresa Witherspoon. We obviously have Elena Della Don right now. Obviously Sue Bird. Lindsay Whalen right now. Simone Augustus. Maya Moore right now currently. I think what people should do also, if you go to YouTube, type in WNBA like All Star games. It'd be a nice way to get to know players. I was just watching Game 2 of the WNBA Finals of 1999 between the New York Liberty and the Houston Comets. One of the most classic WNBA games in WNBA history, playoff history, obviously in WNBA Finals history. It was great to watch. Oh, Dawn Staley, how could I forget her? Dawn Staley. I forgot about Dawn Staley. How could I forget about her? And then you got the pioneers like Doris Burke and Nancy Lieberman and Ann Myers. There's Candice Dupree. I remember her. There's a lot of great WNBA players. You know, some of the greatest to ever play. Right now we got Angel McCoughtry. So yeah, Lindsay Whalen was definitely a beast for sure. Oh yeah. So like I said, ladies and gentlemen, I'm just happy for Jonathan. Now that he's free, I'm happy that Maya Moore was able to do and help him. Tina Thompson was overrated. I thought she was. I mean, she was great, but I don't know. I always felt that Cheryl Swoops and Cynthia Cooper were better than her. I always felt that she was a yeah, she's the go-to broadcaster, and I can agree with that. Yeah, Nancy Lieberman, Hall of Famer Nancy Lieberman. You know, she definitely is for sure. But you guys gave me a great idea. I'm definitely gonna do the greatest top 15 WNBA players of all time. I'm definitely gonna do that as a future video. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So I just want to put a stop to this video. I just wanted this to be a little bit of a quick one. Shout out to everybody in the chat for coming through. Make sure you guys pull it back up again for 8:30 where we talk about the late great Kobe. And I'm just doing a dedication video on him after what happened last night. And for Clutch Points' sake, hopefully the second video, episode 2, is better than the first one. Because I think if it's not, because you also got to wonder this. I should talk more about it later on. But anyway, salute to the chat. Thank you guys for being here. This is your boy Lewis, and once again, shout out to Maya Moore. You deserve a lot more credit than what you're not getting right now. It took him over 2 months to finally. I mean, it should have been reported even anyway from when they had the retrial and they reversed the decision and overturned it when he was released in March. So I don't understand that. I'm just glad that the brother's free. He can live his life now. Uh, just now have to be a little bit more careful just on things. It's not completely his fault, but I'm just saying just because of those kind of experiences. And again, shout out to him and shout out to Maya Moore. Definitely deserves a lot more credit for being an activist, for being able to sacrifice, for taking affirmative action, and being able to put results out there. Shout out to Anthony L in the building. Appreciate you. I'm actually going to end this one, Anthony. Coming back with the Kobe Bryant video, but I just wanted to talk about Maya Moore. So I just wanted you, so if you can just replay the restream, and I'm coming back with KB24 at 8:30. But I wanted to salute to you guys. Thank you, and for definitely coming on to the channel. And I don't know why Maya Moore is not being talked about. It's a shame. Even if the WNBA is small, this is a woman who helped a brother get out of jail. That should be big news anywhere. Like, come on. But you see, the media is not going to focus on this. We are just kind of focused in the sports world, and with athletes just kind of have issues with the law and stuff like that. This was something really positive. I hope people can watch this and take a lesson from this. But you got morons like Brian Windhorst talking about everybody's ready to play basketball. Who is this everybody you keep talking about, bro? Who is this everybody? I'm gonna get on his ass in the Kobe video later on. But anyway, salute to you guys. God bless you guys as always. Thank you for always coming and taking and watching my videos, being part of the live stream. I might have a future panel to talk about this. I'm actually gonna have a panel probably this week with what I'm about, with some stuff coming up. But ladies and gentlemen, once again, this is your boy Lewis with another one. As always, ladies and gentlemen, from the bottom of my heart, appreciate all of you guys. Come back at 8:30. Make sure to like the video for KB24 coming up. And exactly, Anthony L. We need more females and brothers like her. Salute to her. Okay? Salute to her. I'm just amazed that nobody's paying attention to this lady. Salute to that woman right there. Salute. That's all you can do. Yeah, that dude is so annoying. That's a fact. That dude is so annoying. So, ladies and gentlemen, make sure to like this video. Make sure to like. Hopefully, we are getting a big crowd for this one because we definitely got to talk a little bit more on this. There's the link. Oh, wait, that's more. My bad. That's not the one I wanted to put. My mistake, guys. I'm actually going to delete that one. This is the link that I wanted to put. There it is. That's the link I wanted to put. There you go. There is the link for this video later on. And exactly. And I'm glad that you mentioned that, Anthony L, because she doesn't do this for attention. And she already talked, and like I mentioned earlier, she's talked about using her platform for good. Oh yeah, I'm gonna get on these guys later on, and I'm gonna tell you why. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, so make sure to smash the like for that one. Make sure to be there. Again, this is the Lewis Sports Network telling you to bless up, live, laugh, love. Thank you guys for being a part of the stream, and I will see you guys in just under an hour. All right. So take a break, and we're about to get to go in on this. And Anthony L, would you like to be a part of the panel? Let me know, brother, and I will get you on because I know you were spitting some huge facts up in the stream. So I would love to get you on as a guest for later on, and I'll send you the email if you guys would like to talk about this. So for sure. All right, but again, take care, bless up, live, laugh, love. Thank y'all for being part of the stream. See